The Galactic Council chamber had not heard such silence in millennia. Ambassador Zexthul of the Vorthak Empire shifted uncomfortably in his biosuit, the atmospheric processors humming with tension as thick as the methane he breathed. Across the crystalline table sat representatives from 47 species, each more powerful than the last, yet none dared to speak. The hologram flickered again, a simple message that had arrived at every major space station, every colony world, every military outpost in known space simultaneously. 3 words that had frozen the galaxy's greatest civilizations in place. Humanity, come home. 4,000 years, whispered Counselor Theiss, her tentacles writhing nervously. 4,000 years since the Great Silence, since they left. Zexthul's compound eyes reflected the data streaming across his neural interface. The transmission had originated from Earth's solar system, a quarantined zone that no species had dared approach since humanity's mysterious exodus. The entire sector was marked in their star charts with a single ominous designation, the Graveyard of Ambitions. Perhaps, offered Minister Krell, his cybernetic implants glowing with calculated hope, perhaps it's not them. Perhaps it's something else using their old communication networks. The chamber fell silent again. Everyone knew the stories, passed down through generations like cosmic folklore. Humanity, the species that had appeared seemingly overnight, spreading across the galaxy like wildfire. In less than 2 centuries, they had established colonies on hundreds of worlds, built impossible megastructures, and developed technologies that made the Council's greatest achievements look primitive. Then one day they simply vanished. Every human colony empty, every station abandoned, every ship gone. They left behind only ruins and questions and a warning that still echoed through diplomatic channels. Do not follow. Do not seek. We go now to places you cannot imagine, to do things you would not understand. If the galaxy calls for us in its darkest hour, we will know. Admiral Vrex, the hegemony's supreme military commander, finally broke the silence. My scouts report massive energy signatures emerging from the Sol system. Something is happening there, something that's making space itself bend. The holographic display shifted, showing real-time sensor data from the galaxy's edge. Where Earth's sun should have been, space rippled like water. Massive structures, impossible in their scope and complexity, were phasing into reality. Dyson swarms that dwarfed planets. Ring worlds that made the Council's greatest engineering marvels look like children's toys. My gods, breathed Zexthul, his biosuit's processors struggling to regulate his shock. What have they become? The answer came sooner than expected. Every screen in the chamber flickered, and suddenly they were no longer looking at data streams and star charts. They were looking at a face, human but changed. The eyes held depths that spoke of eons spent in places beyond normal space. The skin seemed to shimmer with an inner light that suggested mastery over forces the Council barely comprehended. Greetings, children of the galaxy. The figure spoke, its voice carrying harmonics that resonated in dimensions the listeners couldn't name. I am Admiral Chen Lu, speaking for the human collective. We received your call. Our call? Zexthul stammered, his translation matrix struggling with the being's multi-layered communication. We sent no call. The message came from you. A smile played across Chen's transformed features. Did it? Check your databases, Ambassador. Search your recent history. What great crisis has befallen the galaxy in the past cycle? The realization hit them like a physical blow. The Devourers, the extragalactic entities that had appeared at the rim, consuming entire star systems, converting matter and energy into something alien and hostile. The combined fleets of 47 civilizations had been powerless against them. Billions had died. Whole species faced extinction. You knew, Admiral Vrex said, his warrior's pride cracking. You knew they were coming. We've been watching, Chen acknowledged. From places between dimensions, from realities adjacent to your own. We've been growing, learning, becoming what we needed to become. And when the galaxy cried out in terror and desperation, when your united fleets fell and your worlds burned, we heard that cry across the void. The display shifted again, showing impossible fleets emerging from folded space around Earth. Ships that seemed to be built from crystallized starlight, vessels that moved through dimensions rather than space, constructs that made the Devourers' world killers look fragile. You asked us to return, Chen continued. Not with words, but with the deeper call that species make when extinction approaches. We heard your fear, your loss, your desperate need for salvation, and so we come home. But why? Counselor Thys whispered. Why leave only to return when we need you most? Chen's expression grew gentle, almost parental. Because you needed to grow without us. To become yourselves, not pale shadows of humanity. We were stagnating you, holding you back by our very presence. So we left you to find your own paths, your own strengths. Through the chamber's viewports, they could see them now. Human ships appearing throughout the galaxy. Not just returning to their old colonies, but moving to intercept the devourer fleets with precision that spoke of perfect knowledge of the threat. 4,000 years we spent in the spaces between realities, Chen said, his image beginning to fade. 4,000 years learning to become something greater than we were. Not gods, but gardeners, protectors, family returning to defend the home they never truly left. The transmission ended, leaving the council in stunned silence. Outside, the first reports were already coming in. Devourer fleets simply ceasing to exist as they encountered the human defenders. Not destroyed, but transformed. Their alien hostility converted into something beautiful and strange. Ambassador Zexthul looked around the chamber at his fellow representatives, some proud, some terrified, all fundamentally changed by what they had witnessed. The galaxy's greatest civilizations, humbled by the return of a species they had thought long dead. Humanity had indeed come home, and nothing would ever be the same again,